to meet the Gray Plaza and Hancock Street and past the Congregational Church back over to Pennell. And today we're expanding the trail through the Gateway property here that we purchased in 2020. The town purchased in 2020, and we'll be taking a jaunt later today to celebrate. So I just want to take a few minutes to thank everyone who's been involved in this extension. As they say, many hands make light work, and there's a lot of people to thank, so I just want to take a minute to acknowledge everyone. First and foremost, I want to thank Kristen Musinski, the community planner, and Mose Russo, facilities director, for shepherding this process. It certainly wouldn't get done without either of their persistence, vision, and also the execution. And then I would like to thank the Cumberland County Commissioners for the award of a community development block grant, because we certainly couldn't fund it as successfully as we have without their support. And in particular, Kristen Stiles and Courtney Kemp, who shepherded that proposal process. And I also want to thank the current and former members of the Community Economic Development Committee. They were instrumental in crafting the proposal. Shalene Shevchenko, Lacey Antonson, and particularly Rachel Lynn Rumson. And then we also had members of a design review committee, because we had several applicants for the design, and we needed some folks to weigh in on that. And Mary Sweeney Underwood to my right helped with that, Ann Gass, and members of staff, Mo, Kristen, and former manager Nate Rudy. The review committee decided to use the creative design from Sebago Technics, and I'm looking forward to seeing their work later today. And also, I lost my place here. And also the Diligent Construction by Skid Steer Services. They certainly remained adaptable in changing economic pressures. We had to amend our design several times to account for increased costs, but we're super happy that they were able to finish it on budget today. We also should recognize the planning board members for creative solutions, and I also want to take a minute to just recognize past and former council members for supporting this community vision and the community building process. Council changes over time, year to year, but I think everyone who's served on both the planning board and council has recognized that trails like this are important for the community and the vision we're trying to implement for community building. And then we've also had a lot of input and donations to make the trail more accessible, particularly from Will Boyle and the Gray Community Endowment. They've donated some benches, which are certainly helpful for resting and enjoying the scenery. And also Al Schaefer for his work on updating the maps for the VALT Trail. And last but certainly not least, I also want to thank the abutting property owners for their flexibility and the community for being involved in the development and also use of the trail. Just a couple thoughts. I feel like it's really exciting to literally and figuratively connect community. These phases of trails create opportunity to expand the trail around town, but also allow people to have recreation, socialization, and also conservation, which is instrumental in community building. So next up, just keep an eye out for continued improvements in the village. We're going to be expanding infrastructure with more crosswalks, improvements to sidewalks, and certainly more trail building. And then in the near term, please keep your eye out for opportunities for beautification and amenity improvements on the trail. So we'll be working hard to keep this trail in its best service for the community. So I just that's all I had, and I'm so glad to have you all here today. And I think Ann Gass was going to say a couple things too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll take this.
Oh, that's great.
Pardon us while we swap microphones here. You just hold on to it. Yeah. All right. Thanks very much for coming today. I'm Ann Gass. I do serve on the council, but 10 years ago when we started this whole process, I didn't realize what I've come to learn. I didn't know then what I've come to learn, which is that when you build places for the community to gather, you build community. And, you know, but back then when Rec Director Dean Bennett and I first walked the route that would become the Village Area Loop Trail, I was really thinking about exercise and convenience, getting people around the village off-road as much as possible, because it's not particularly pleasant to walk on Main Street. And you know, we had some obstacles we faced at first, and one was we had no money, and I had personally no idea how we were going to build this thing. And we had to convince, frankly, kind of a dubious council that this was a good idea. And but fortunately, we had a plan and a vision, and we had time and a lot of perseverance. And honestly, to make change, you need all those things. And so we wrote a grant. One thing I did know how to do was write grants. So I wrote a grant to the state's recreational trail program, and we got roughly $30,000, and we were off and running. And so, you know, and Krista has sketched out the different phases of the trail, and our goal was to connect parts of the community together and make it easier and safer and more attractive for them to gather. And so the Hancock link between the end of Hancock Street over to the plaza now has some solar lighting, and the Lions Club donated a bench over there, and so it's been a much needed improvement to that area of town. And then, you know, fast forward several years, and Mary Sweeney Underwood moves to town and shows us all what building community is all about. And you know, with her Nordic trekking walking program, it's just brought so many more people into the village, and built connections with the rec program, and just done things that, you know, I frankly never imagined when we first envisioned this trail. But it just goes to show you that we built the space for the community to gather, and they have. And so we're looking forward to that happening again on this segment of the trail. And you know, as Krista mentioned, it's something of a blank canvas, though. I mean, we've got the basic trail in place, but what happens with it from here on out is kind of up to you guys and the whole community. You know, we have some benches, but what about landscaping? What about creating little spaces for kids to do performances, little mini amphitheaters, things like that? I mean, there's lots of opportunities for how we can incorporate this into our community life, and you guys are all the painters. So we're looking forward to your perseverance and your time, maybe a little money here and there, some sweat equity. We can do a lot when we work together. So thank you very much for coming today, and I guess we'll cut a ribbon.
Where's the ribbon?
Yep, so Anne and Mary get the ceremonial scissors.
Wow.
Which side do you want? This side?
Right here.
All right. You do the cutting and I'll just, oh my gosh, could I have a hand on it? Somebody take my pole. You go to the back side.
Well, you can see.
I'll hold it. Okay. Ready? Yep. 1, 2, 3.
And for anyone that would like to enjoy a walk around the new portion of the trail with us, we're gonna take a little stroll and see what the new trail is all about. So that sounds good. Join us.
Yeah, I'd like to get a photo with everybody here if we could. Get some stills. If you guys are willing to kind of line up where they were for the ribbon.
Yeah, hi. How are you? Nice seeing you too. Yeah. We saw this many years ago happening, and now we got a few more phases. I'll be a volunteer.
All right. Let's try to get in tight so it's not, I don't have a panoramic, so if you guys can kind of come around the back a little bit and just stagger. Yeah.
after 3 weeks. I've been, and I feel great. Oh, it was a snafu on the wall. Waited forever on the CT. Yeah, I know.
Get some smiles.
What a nice day to have this.
Kristen, do you want to get in? I can take
I have a right trail apps that they want.
Hey Nelly. Hey Nelly. You know what? Here you could take the tripod too. I'm sorry. Do you mind breaking this down, just lowering the legs so you can fit it in the? Yeah, and I gotta follow these guys. Thank you.
is here.
I mean, the good news is that we knew it was going to happen. It's just so crazy. Well, and then the other thing is yeah. So, yeah. On this end.
We had our ribbon cutting ceremony. Oh yeah. Now we're off and running. There you go. Thank you for doing that. Good. Looks great. Oh, another bench.
Yep. Newly installed.
Wow. Oh, I'm so pleased.
where we started. Thanks for watching, folks.